was announced that the A's will, in fact, leave Oakland after this season and will play, I believe it's 3 years in Sacramento with an option for a fourth, which would be 2028 based on where the Las Vegas plans are at. If at that point they're still even on the table, who knows, man? This is, I mean, can we call this a risk on behalf of Oakland? Like you're getting out of Dodge, but I don't know if this Vegas thing is as certain as they're trying to make it out to be.
I hate it. I hate all of this. I'm so done. I'm so over it. Dissolve this franchise. I don't care. It sucks because it's like it's a long lasting. How long have they been around? 80, 90 years? I mean, they've been around a long time.
56 in the East Bay.
But overall, like the Philly A's, you can go back to just the overall athletics organization. Oh man, it sucks. I mean, I am at that point where I do kind of feel bad for the fans in some ways, but I'm over it. Like I'm over it. Like the owner does suck, but like I don't know, man. Like there's no perfect fix to this. This is weird. The press conference where the owner's talking about like can't wait to see other guys hitting home runs out of there. It's like it's just
can't wait to see stars like Aaron Judge putting balls 450 feet into the bleachers.
I've never seen someone that's so tone deaf. It's crazy.
Dude, can I give you a quick rundown? So I was, I'm reading a lot of articles, and so
good for you.
I read another article about this whole Oakland A's situation, and this was news to me. I hadn't realized that for some reason this wasn't talked about more when it happened. I'm sure it was making its rounds in the Oakland circles, but it didn't make its way to my feed until I was reading this article. But apparently with this whole presser thing, let me just read you the minute by minute breakdown here. It said, team president Dave Cavall called Oakland chief of staff Leigh Hansen at 7:36 a.m. to inform her of the team's decision. Owner John Fisher followed 5 minutes later with a call to Oakland Mayor Shang Thao, and the team announced its move on social media 10 minutes after that. Within 2 hours of the announcement, the team held an outdoor news conference in the rain and wind at Sutter Health Park. Fisher spoke for 1 minute and 45 seconds and left the ballpark quickly afterward, taking no questions. I don't think I realized how much of a dumpster fire that day was. Wow.
How many total minutes was all of that? Total that up for me. Cause I mean, that's fast.
Well, I don't know what time so
press conference, I'm assuming it was a couple hours later.
It said within 2 hours of the announcement, the team held the outdoor news conference. So if we're talking,
this is not even 3 hours worth of stuff. Like you could play,
it really isn't. Yeah.
I think sooner than a ball game would finish.
I think it's sooner than a ball game in the year 2024. We're making the official announcement and ownership is out the door in under 3 hours.
Man, I did see somewhere on Twitter that I think Coliseum staff knew. They found out through Twitter, like through this.
Which is another thing. Scary. Cavall said he conducted an all-staff Zoom meeting after the announcement in which he informed team employees that there will be significant layoffs as a result of this decision. He chose not to say what percentage of the workforce would be reduced, saying it has yet to be decided, but said that employees will be let go at the conclusion of the season.
This guy's such a scumbag. I don't understand how MLB hasn't stepped in. Not everything has to be unanimous. You know what I mean? Like these owners, there's got to be like a majority vote to be like, this guy is not good for our game at this point.
Well, honestly, what I think, and I know about as much as the average the non-Oakland A fan does. My guess is that this whole deal has gone a lot more south than I think these higher ups and these owners and executives around the league would have hoped.
Yeah.
Including the Oakland A's front office. But I think this is quickly turning into, and has been for some time, just a hold your nose until it's over situation. Because this whole not taking questions, not having replies turned on Twitter for the team account, it's just very like, all right, let's just get through this. Let's rip the Band-Aid off as quickly as we can, even though this Band-Aid is taking
slowest possible
forever to come off.
Every hair has been pulled with this.
Unbelievable.
It's super, super unfair. I think just like it is getting to this point where like the rest of baseball's, tapping into this. And that's where I do kind of feel bad for the A's, because like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing in multitude of ways, like for just baseball fans in general. Like this is not okay. It's not good. Like there's enough issues going on. This is like one of the worst.
Yeah, this was very much self-inflicted on behalf of the A's. Like you didn't have to handle it this way. It very much seemed like they were trying to just steamroll their way into Vegas. They weren't going to hear, the ownership was not going to hear out any sort of reason from their whoever's in their inner circle. It just seemed like the individuals involved in the ultimate decision making process had it set in their minds what they wanted to do, and they were going to do what they could to accomplish that at whatever cost.
I think where I'm struggling the most is like, how does it even get to a vote without the okay from the city? How does it even get to the point of owners voting on it unless Vegas is like, okay, green light?
And that's what I'm saying.
The process is weird.
That's why I don't think this Vegas thing is as certain as they're trying to give off the impression that it is, because we've already talked about it at length. Like you said, we're kind of over it at this point for how much we've talked about it. But the mayor of Vegas literally was like, yeah, figure out a way to make it work in Oakland because we're good here.
Right.
And you're seeing all of these article headlines.
Yeah.
The Oakland A's are moving to Sacramento before their Vegas move. And I'm like, what Vegas move?
Yeah.
We're not guaranteed a Vegas move at this point.
There's a reason. Let's just say there's a reason. There's an option for a fourth year. It doesn't take 4 years to build a stadium. It takes 4 years to potentially get this approval pushed through and the agreement to go and start breaking ground. Oh, this is gross. You might as well go to a city that wants you. There's plenty of cities that would happily take you. I don't understand the force feeding into Vegas.
I don't think so. I think there are plenty of cities that would happily accept an expansion team.
Yeah.
But they would not. I don't think any team is taking this on, because you have to think, and not, it's kind of a weird comparison, but bear with me. It's kind of like the Bauer thing, where it's like, yeah, it might be nice to some degree, but like you bring that flack with you. And I think a city is going to look at that and be like, I don't know if I'm really into having all of that press tagging along.
I don't know, man. I think I wonder if like maybe if Vegas doesn't eventually get pushed through, MLB steps in. I mean, didn't MLB step in for the Dodgers? Where I don't remember the names offhand. They were a married couple and they were going through a divorce. And they were the owners. And MLB stepped in and was like, we're running the show now. You guys are done. And it was only for a year or two. And then I think that's when Magic Johnson and crew came in and purchased. It was right before then. There's got to be some type of clause or stipulation where it's like, you're running this organization into the ground and you're just burning bridges everywhere while you're doing it.
But the question is who's going to do that? Because we know very well it's not going to be Rob Manfred to step up and do that.
He's done in 27, right?
Was it 5 years from now? I think he said.
Oh, so 28. Okay. Or 29. That sounds right. Yeah.
Is it 5 years from now from his announcement?
I think
it was 5 from.
So 29
winter.
Yeah, because that does make sense. Like the next CBA is in 27. So I think get past that, add in your expansion teams, do your victory lap and then retire.
I mean, and we'll touch on it here towards the end, but look at this whole, not to rehash this necessarily, but look at how he's handling this whole Fanatics thing. Radio silence.
Yeah.
And that affects the whole league. And to some degree, yeah, this A's thing affects the league, the entire league in some way, shape, or form. But I mean, he's not really stepping up and saying much on that. So I don't see why he would step in and go, yeah, we really need to clean this. I'm with you. I think Major League Baseball does need to step in and be like, okay, that you guys have had more than enough chances to figure out a better way. And you haven't found it, so we're taking over. But I don't know who that would be. And I don't think anybody's going over Rob Manfred's head to do that.
You need to start a coup. You're going to plan a coup.
Well, I was reading today, and it sounds like Theo Epstein is moving further and further away from the idea of being the next commissioner. I think it sounds like he's made it very clear that he has no interest in doing that. So that hope is lost. But who knows? Maybe the league spirals downwards so much that he has to answer the bat call and come save us all.
That'd be cool. I'm over it.
What are your thoughts on them kind of taking a Washington football team approach with their name? Just the strangest approach, and we're going by the A's for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
No Oakland, just the A's.
I think it's even more strange that that leaked faculty note, if you will, the memo about that they had.
I talked about that on the solo pod last week. That was
specifically removing anything that says rooted in Oakland.
Yeah, dude, it's such a mess over there.
It is.
I can't you just can't be upset with anybody that's attached to the organization from like an employee standpoint. Like this is because they're flying along the same way the rest of us are. They're finding things out on social media. They're getting invites to Zoom calls where they're being told these things. It's not concession stand workers' fault. It's not the stadium security's fault. They're finding out these things the same way we are. And the blame solely falls in the lap of Fisher and company.
Goon.